That's fine. All right.
What she's saying. Good morning, everybody. Shall we just bow our heads? I'm going to call upon Honorable Madlopa to just open for us in prayer. If you could just pray that we have wisdom in our engagements today so that we could better serve the people of KZN, especially Mzinduzi.
Let's bow our heads in prayer. Our Heavenly Father, we invite you to our meeting. Lead us, God. Give the chairperson the wisdom. Give our mayor the wisdom and all the honorable members and the officials, management of the municipalities. We also pray for COGTA officials to give them wisdom when they respond. Give them honesty so that whatever challenges the institution is having, we can be in a position to assist the institution because they are honest on the challenges that they are facing. We ask your wisdom. Give our chairperson the wisdom to run this meeting. In the name of our Lord Jesus Christ, we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Honorable Madlopa. Honorable members, once again, welcome. We also want to welcome the representatives
of the Auditor General, led by Ms. Mkhize, the Department of Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs, led by Mr. Katid, Provincial Treasury, and Your Worship, the Mayor of the Mzinduzi Municipality, Councillor Tabola, welcome. Welcome to you and your Municipal Manager, your CFO, and your delegation from the Mzinduzi Municipality, all the councillors that have accompanied you this morning as well. Welcome to the hearing. This hearing takes place under the legislature's responsibility to consider municipal account annual reports and council oversight reports submitted under Section 132 of the Municipal Finance Management Act. It is closely connected to Section 131, which requires the municipality to address the Auditor General's findings, requires the Mayor to ensure compliance, and requires the MEC for local government to assess whether the municipality has adequately addressed those matters. Now, the committee acknowledges that Mzinduzi improved to an unqualified audit opinion with findings for 2024-2025. That improvement must be recognized. However, an unqualified opinion with findings is not a clean audit, and it does not on its own establish that the municipality is financially sustainable, compliant, or delivering services effectively. The Auditor General has identified continuing material non-compliance, weak consequence management, procurement concerns, poor financial health, unresolved material irregularities, unreliable performance information, infrastructure weaknesses, and serious ICT risks. The municipal response reports progress, including that 42 of the 70 findings have been resolved. The committee will require some sort of assurance that these claims are indeed accurate and that they are not just processes on paper. The purpose of today is not to repeat the audit report. It is to determine whether accountability is working and whether residents are receiving the benefit of improved governance and financial management. Now, in our Section 132 hearings, we normally attend to municipalities that are the worst performing. And on paper, Mzinduzi is not one of the worst performing municipalities. However, it is a major municipality with adequate resources in order to perform well and deliver on services. And so we felt that it is vital that we engage with you to ascertain whether you are receiving adequate support so that you could serve your residents well. I want to just quickly hand over to Ms. Nondumiso, who will take us through the apologies for today.
Good morning, Chair. Good morning, His Worship the Mayor. Good morning, honourable members and the whole Umsundo's leadership. Good morning to COGTA management and officials. Chair, we received apologies from Honourable Buthelezi, Honourable Xaba, the MEC, Rev Buthelezi, and the HOD, Mr. Duma. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Ms. Nondumiso. I believe that the MEC and the HOD of the Department of COGTA are in Cabinet. So we do acknowledge those apologies. I'm sure the MEC would have liked to be with us today. All right, members, can I have someone move for the adoption of the agenda? Honourable Madlopa, can I have a seconder? Honourable Kunene, thank you. Seeing as though the MEC is not with us, we're going to go straight through and, of course, hand over to the Mayor, Your Worship, Councillor Tabola, for your remarks.
Honorable Chair, honorable members of the Portfolio Committee, the Deputy Mayor of Msunduzi Municipality, Councillor Mkhize, the Speaker, Councillor Eunice Majola. I'm actually acknowledging them, but also introducing the team in the process, Honorable
Your
Chair.
Worship, my apologies. If you could just speak into the mic so that we could, our viewers can also hear you clearly. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. Let me acknowledge you and honorable members of the Portfolio Committee, the Deputy Mayor of Msunduzi Municipality, Councillor Mkhize, our Speaker, Councillor Eunice Majola, and ex-co member, Councillor Rostrahan, and the municipal manager together with the team. COGTA officials led by the DDG, Dr. Katita and the team, Office of the AG and the Provincial Treasury. Good morning. Honorable Chair, when we were elected on a mandate on the commitments that we made to our people that we are going to give them a capable, accountable, and a developmental local government. Those commitments we made because we understood very well the challenges that faced our people. We also knew and understood the position that Msunduzi Municipality was sitting at that period. We were amongst the top 10 dysfunctional municipalities where nothing seemed to work. We are glad that we are called here today to account towards the end of our term. And we can safely report that we believe, whilst we still acknowledge the challenges that we are facing as a municipality, and agree that there's still a lot of work that needs to be done, but we have moved a very long way. We have been able to move from that list. Today, the latest COGTA report or assessment puts Msunduzi on a list of the municipalities that are at risk. Now, being at risk, of course, we know it's either you regress or you progress, and ours, moving from where we were, we are only looking forward to a better and stable municipality that is Msunduzi. We also, like you have mentioned, Honorable Chair, are proud that having worked tirelessly to turn around the situation, we have finally received an unqualified audit opinion. And we want to highlight that, Chair, because over the years, you will realize that the material findings that the AG always came up with have been declining drastically. Yes, we acknowledge that the management report still highlights so many challenges that we need to deal with, but we have drastically reduced the findings. It is our view that the next outcome, of course, despite some few challenges that we know as the AG moves in for this cycle, audit cycle, we know that there are areas that the AG might highlight as still challenges that may keep us where we were, but our commitment, that of giving our people an accountable local government, is what we still want to do. That is why whenever we are called, Honorable Chair, to these structures, we take them, one as a support mechanism, but also an opportunity for us to account not just to the structures of government, but to our people. We take it as an opportunity. So we believe that this session is going to help us also to do just that, to account to our people. But let us appreciate, Honorable Chair, the support that we are getting from different spheres of government. The fact that we moved from that section 1391B of the Constitution, but when we moved out of that, the department did not just leave us and say, you are now okay, but through the section 154 support, the department having deployed resources to work with us to turn around. Also acknowledge, Chair, the work of the Honorable Premier when he chose to deploy what we call the Premier's Working Group in Sundozi to come and work with us. I think it is proper that we acknowledge that and say we know that the future of our city is better. Of course, we will deal with the presentation when the time comes. For now is to say, Honorable Chair, thank you for affording us this opportunity, and we take it very serious because we know that we need to account to our people. On behalf of this team, Chair, let me thank you.
Thank you, Your Worship, for those opening remarks. We're now going to move on to the Department of COGTA, and we have Mr. Khatid, the DDG of Local Government, who's going to take us through the presentation. And then thereafter, we're going to give an opportunity for the municipality to take us through their turnaround strategy. Over to you, Mr. Khatid.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. Greetings to you as well as members present, colleagues from the AG, Bab Mayor and Deputy Mayor, including the my colleagues from COGTA. Thank you very much once more again for allowing COGTA to come and present the status quo in terms of 132 report as well as the MSIP report. I will not waste time, Chair, because I think most of the basic issues have been covered by both yourself as well as the Mayor. We have got a cordial relationship with the municipality. We work very well with them, and where there are challenges, we're able to sit down and look at those challenges properly, agree on the terms and conditions. They also respond on the timelines that we have given them. Of course, some of the challenges are embedded in their system. They might take long to actually resolve. We do acknowledge that. But surely, I think with the support coming from all sector departments, we are going to give you just a progress report. Dr. Krishnan will give you the first part, and as well Susie, the champion responsible for this municipality from the side of COGTA, will give us the actual municipal support program that you are providing, as well as the intervention measures that are there. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Khatid. Good morning, Honourable Chair, Honourable members of the Portfolio Committee, His Worship the Mayor and the Deputy Mayor from Sunduzi and the leadership, the officials from Sunduzi and management and leadership and team from COGTA. Good morning. As you are aware, we are presenting the report that has already been tabled in the legislature in accordance with Section 131 of the MFMA. What's important to note, Chair, is that the financial statements that we are looking at
is for the previous financial year, 2024-2025. So it's as at June 2025. However, in our report and based on the latest Section 71 report of the municipality, we have also provided a snapshot of the current status of the municipality. We believed that the portfolio committee may well be interested in what has the situation improved or not. So we have provided that. We are required to assess the financial statements, the audit report, the responses to the audit report, and determine if they are adequate in accordance with Section 131. And in respect of Msunduzi, we can report positively that the responses to the audit report have been adequate. So we are then reporting in terms of the submissions that have been made. As you are aware, the municipality had successive qualified audits in 22-23, 23-24, and then improved to an unqualified audit in the 24-25 financial year. The major, as the Mayor has indicated, the number of audit findings did significantly reduce. 3 years ago, it was sitting at 108 audit findings, and in the last audit report, there were 70 findings. Of those, 42 findings have been resolved at this point. 28 are in progress. The significant audit issues have been highlighted. They are around the financial sustainability of the municipality. The Auditor General raised an issue of a going concern. They also raised concerns regarding or findings regarding delayed capital projects and the failure to prevent fruitless and wasteful expenditure, primarily as a result of interest on the Eskom and Water Board debt, and then consequence management for this fruitless and wasteful expenditure not being implemented. Payments are not made within 30 days, and this is an indication of the financial strain at the municipality. And then there were, as reported on the fruitless and wasteful and irregular expenditure, there are procurement and contract management non-compliances. One of the major service delivery concerns are the electricity and water losses, but we have noted that there has been a reduction in the electricity losses and the water losses, and the municipality will provide the detail. What we have highlighted for the committee, which is of concern to ourselves as well, are recurring audit issues, because these are the deep-seated challenges that we are having difficulty overcoming. Often we say that we have implemented 95% of the audit action items, and therefore we are doing well. However, the 5% are generally the ones that are the recurring audit issues. So we're saying we need to focus on the recurring audit issues going forward, and we need to be able to resolve these. So service charges from the sale of water was identified by the AG in 2 prior years, but we were comfortable that it was not identified as such in the latest audit outcome. However, there are still issues around the material losses and consumer debtors relating to the services, which are recurring for at least the last 3 financial years. The going concern has also been raised by the AG 3 years in a row, and it really does talk to financial sustainability. When we get to the assessment of the financials and we give you some of the details, you will understand the challenges experienced there. There have been delayed capital projects as well for all 3 financial years, and this talks again directly to service delivery. It talks to funding availability to deal with major repairs and maintenance and refurbishment projects, and these are the issues that need to be attended to. There was previously underspending on conditional grants, but we are happy to say that in the last financial year, that certainly improved at the municipality. The other areas of improvement were in the presentations of the financial statements, so it was presented fairly. Revenue management has also improved in the last financial year. However, expenditure management has not, and it is a recurring issue. So this is the element of fruitless and wasteful expenditure that I have highlighted. There have been material irregularities raised in accordance with the Public Audit Act by the Auditor General. Material irregularities indicate, I'm not sure if the AG covered it in the presentation, but they did. So it does indicate areas of possible harm, potential harm, or financial loss to the municipality or the public. And in the case of Msunduzi, there were 8 material irregularities raised in the last 4 years, or 5 years, sorry. The landfill site, we are happy to say that it was major articles in the newspaper around this, but that has been resolved. It was resolved in 2023, but sometimes these issues stick with us. So we want to place on record, Chair, that it has been adequately addressed. The salary payments of a manager that never reported for duty was also addressed in November 2023, with recoveries having taken place. There is a matter that still remains unresolved, is the issue of the revenue from the sale of timber. And there is a plan that the AG will then review when they conduct the next audit. Credit control and consumer debt remains a challenge. The Auditor General sees the high levels of consumer debt as potential financial losses to the municipality, which requires extensive work to ensure that we are able to reduce our outstanding debtors, and it does remain unresolved. We'll also provide the details of the figures. There were losses as a result of prepaid electricity revenue, and this is not necessarily just a systems issue. It also relates to electricity theft, and that is something that requires community services and action plans to engage communities to ensure that payment is made for services provided. As indicated, the landfill site management has improved significantly, and so the revenue element has also been resolved simultaneously. The resources not used economically was an issue raised by the Auditor General in 23-24. But the municipality has indicated that it has implemented the action plan to resolve this matter. We are awaiting the Auditor General to confirm through the next audit that they are satisfied that this has been addressed. And then there's also the payment of the scarce skills allowance without having clarity on who was eligible for this allowance. The matter remains unresolved. In terms of the analysis of the financial statements on the next slide, we've highlighted certain key indicators to give the committee an indication of the financial situation at the municipality. We're happy to report that the budget was determined by Provincial Treasury to be funded, and there's a zero tolerance for unfunded budgets in the province. We're hoping to clear this by the leadership to have all unfunded budgets resolved in the next 2 years. The major concern is the Eskom arrear debt. Last year, at the end of the financial year, it was reported at 1.6 billion rand. As at the June Section 71 report, it is also reported at 1.6 billion rand. The municipality does have a payment plan with Eskom, and that payment plan is being honoured. Similarly, there is water board debt of 1 billion rand as at the end of the last financial year, and the current debt is sitting at 1.375 billion. So it has grown a little bit, although there is also a payment plan in place. This is where the concern comes in around financial sustainability. You'll see the cash coverage went from 1 month last year to 0.8 months, meaning that we only have cash to cover our expenses for probably 20 days or 25 days in the month. And if we fall into any crisis, we will have a significant challenge meeting our obligations. Similarly, the current ratio reflects that and is under the norm as well. Grants are fortunately cash-backed, and it is well within the norm. Employee-related costs are also well within the norm. The National Treasury norm is 25% to 40%. We are sitting at 20% and 21% in the current year. One would ask the question whether we are adequately resourced to undertake our function as a major municipality, and we may well be relying on consultants for some of the work. So that's an area that we do need to address. The creditors' payment period, the creditors over 30 days in the last financial year were sitting at 51% of creditors were paid beyond 30 days. Unfortunately, that situation has worsened. As you saw, also the water board debt increased. Now we're sitting at 78% of creditors that are not necessarily paid within 30 days. Of course, there will be payment arrangements, but it does present legal risk and challenge to the municipality. The outstanding debt is also a major concern, consumer debt. It was sitting at 7.4 billion rand in the last financial year. According to the Section 71 report, it is sitting at 8.8 billion rand currently. So it has grown, and this despite efforts by the municipality to address arrear debt and ensure that there's a comprehensive revenue raising strategy and collection drive through the program that has been implemented, the KOKA Mali program by the municipality. Repairs and maintenance, we indicate that the amounts that were budgeted were 6% and 6.3% in the 2 years. The norm is 8%, but municipalities obviously are having financial challenges, will not be able to meet the 8% norm. It is still reasonably good in the province, sitting at 6% and 7% respectively. But the expenditure on repairs and maintenance, if we budgeted 6%, we only spent 86% of that. So that would bring the actual amount spent lower, and similarly for the current financial year. We're happy to report that although we had an operating deficit last year, we're hoping that the municipality will end this financial year with a small, but at least a surplus. The collection rate is improved, or it has actually improved over the years. It's now sitting in the region of 89%. The norm is 95%. And for a municipality this size, with the amount of debtors sitting at over 8.8 billion, we do need to improve the collection rate. So that there is a revenue enhancement strategy in place, but I think it's a matter of resources and capability to implement some of the actions, as well as funding to deal with some of the issues around improving our collection rates. The capital expenditure was sitting at 84%, below the norm, and that was also highlighted in the Auditor General's report. We have provided a more detailed analysis of the overall consumer debt, and we can then report that the organs of state owe the municipality 316 million rand. Commercial owes the municipality 1.7 billion rand. And we're saying that if businesses are in business, they should be paying the municipality their dues. So that 1.7 billion rand is a target that we need to explore and more rigorously collect against. Household debt is also quite significant. It's the largest portion of the total debt. Over 80% of the total debt is household debt, and that is sitting at 8 billion. We have given you a breakdown of the government debt because we know that we are often criticized as provincial and national government for not paying our dues to municipalities. We want to report to the committee that there has been a significant drive by the Provincial Executive Council to ensure that any debt owing to municipalities is paid. We've also had a letter from the National Minister of Finance, and you would have seen and heard in the media that the Minister has issued notices to provinces in terms of Section 216 of the Constitution to withhold the provincial equitable share in the event that municipalities are not paid their dues. So we have done significant work in the last 3 months as departments in the province, but also engaging municipalities. We have identified the debt, but we have also identified what debt is undisputed and what debt remains disputed. In the case of disputed debt, there are obviously processes that we need to undertake with the municipality. We need to receive valid invoices. We need to actually look at some of the underlying land legal issues in certain instances. But in all instances, we have requested departments to enter into payment arrangements and ensure that these are made. You will see, for example, the Department of Human Settlements is owing 46 million rand, and that amount would be paid by the end of this month. In fact, we have not reflected that they've already paid an amount of approximately 30 million rand to date. Similarly, other provincial departments have made payment. Many of the departments reflected here are national departments as well, and you will see that there are large amounts that are then disputed if you look at the differences. On the issue of unauthorized, irregular, fruitless and wasteful expenditure, in the audited financial statements, there has been a reduction over the years, Chairperson. 2 years ago, the UIFW at Msunduzi was sitting at 1.5 billion rand. So it has reduced by at least 50% in the last financial year to 771 million rand. Of concern is the amounts that are incurred during the year. And you will see that the impact has addressed 213 million rand of that UIFW in the previous year. As at June this year, it has grown a little to 997 million rand, and the amount incurred during the year is 226 million rand. So that is of concern because we are incurring more than we are actually writing off at this stage. There has been, management has indicated that there is historical balances of UIFW. These are under investigation. However, our observation is that the investigations take some time, and there has been also investigations referred to the SIU, and those take significant amounts of time as well. So at least half of the UIFW of the municipality is under investigation by the SIU, and that's 357 million. That's reflected on the next slide, Chair. We've also seen, I think I've covered also the elements in the following slide, but there are areas where we can improve in terms of fruitless and unauthorized, irregular, fruitless and wasteful expenditure. We have then indicated the support that COGTA provides to municipalities in accordance with the legislation. And Chapter 5 of the Section 131 report that we have provided to the legislature details the support and commitments towards supporting municipalities to improve their audit outcomes. That is found on Section 120, on page 129 of the actual report. And in this slide, we have then summarized the support that COGTA provides. We must, Chair, and I overheard on the presentation earlier the fact that the committee, and we had a prayer for COGTA saying, please assist us. So we want to say, Chair, we still have limited resources within COGTA to deal with some of our statutory obligations. The team that deals with this municipal finance function and all of these areas of support is 15 people strong, and we're supposed to support 54 municipalities in the province. We are in the process of improving the organogram and structure of the department. So please don't criticize us for employee-related costs when we come to you with our future budgets. But Chair, it's around the issues of supporting and analyzing financial statements, audit report, audit action plans, giving municipalities feedback on the audit action plan, trying to improve the levels of compliance of the annual report. And then we do provide targeted support to some municipalities given our resources, but UIFW expenditure is looked at critically. We also have a municipal performance unit, which is also similarly under-resourced with about 10 people covering the 54 municipalities, but they on a quarterly basis look at the service delivery and SDBIP implementation of the municipalities and provide feedback and guidance in terms of areas of concern. And then we also look at the monitoring of consequence management, undertake significant capacity building initiatives, deal with training of impacts. We've often given on-the-job training to impacts by attending and providing technical guidance and advice. You will see that generally in the report, it has been reported that we were able to address 6 billion rand worth of UIFW in the last financial year, and that's primarily by the work of impacts. And then the only other concern is the amounts that are incurred during the year. We do deal with government debt support, an M&E forum, and then we run municipal audit war rooms and engage at municipal steering committees as appropriate. We have been part of the war rooms at Msunduzi from time to time, as well as part of the revenue raising, revenue enhancement and revenue steering committees. The specifics to address 6 billion rand worth of UI reflected on the next slide. And you will see that it is focused on enhancing and improving the overall audit outcomes. We have also assisted in terms of facilitating and mediating from time to time with the Eskom and Water Board to ensure that there are payment plans in place. And the municipality is also part of the National Treasury Debt Relief Program to write off certain portions of Eskom debt. So those are the issues, honourable members, that are pertinent to Msunduzi municipality. We will continue as COGTA working with the municipality towards improving the audit outcomes as we conclude, and to ensure that performance, particularly on service delivery and basic services, is improved. And we would, as we have always done, supported the leadership. As you would have heard the AG talk about the accountability ecosystem, we try to support the leadership through both the political leadership and management in terms of ensuring that there is proper quality assurance, that the assurance providers play their role, and that there is accountability in all processes at the municipality. Thank you very much, Chair.
Thank you for that presentation, Dr. Krishnan. Honourable members, I think it's very important that you remember an important point that was raised by the Department of COGTA today, that they are constrained with budget when it comes to supporting municipalities. I think it'll do us well to remember that in our future engagements as a portfolio committee. But we're moving over to the Msunduzi municipality. I do understand that an
Chair,
amended report.
I think, Chair.
Honourable Ngadi, is that you?
No, it's Katide.
Oh, sorry.
That was the first part of the report, Chair. If you can be allowed to do the governance matters report. Then.
All right, please proceed, and then when you're done, then we're going to move on to the municipality.
Not more than 10 minutes, please, Susie.
There we go. Am I audible? Thank you. Greetings to your Honourable Chair and to the Honourable Members, to the Mayor of Msunduzi and my COGTA and Msunduzi colleagues. I'm Susie van der Westhuizen, local government champion for KZN COGTA, supporting Msunduzi municipality. I'm going to give a high-level oversight. I don't think the executive summary is included in this. I have shared an amended copy. But just in terms of the Section 154 support and the municipal support plan that we do provide to the municipality. The municipal support plan, I'm going to skip all the legislation and the background, but it basically covers 6 pillars that we look at with a standard 59 indicators that we apply to all municipalities. And within each one of the pillars, there's detailed indicators that we look at and measure on a quarterly basis. And the municipalities then on an annual basis are classified when we do the State of Local Government report, where we measure them against these indicators. And as was alluded to by the Honourable Mayor, Msunduzi has Over and above the important improvement on the audit outcome, they have improved from at distressed to at risk, which is it's a slight improvement. They're still not in the stable stage, but they are at risk. And the main reasons are due to financial viability, institutional capacity, consequence management, and infrastructure reliability. Provincial support has to some degree assisted the municipality, but the next phase is to then be driven by measurable implementation and firm municipal accountability. So the municipality scored 69%, which is below the 75% threshold for stable municipalities. The performance profile remains uneven. There are formal governance and participation systems and comparatively strong, while institutional capacity, financial viability, service delivery remain the principal constraints within the municipality. The Section 154 support program and the MSIP have created a structured platform for stabilization, and the latest report does show an improvement in the implementation of the targets and the turnaround plan for the municipality. I'm going to skip the key areas on the audit outcome and audit action plan because I think that's been covered by Dr. Krishnan and the financial viability. I'm moving straight to governance and institutional capacity, where the report does reflect that Council, Exco and Portfolio committees were reported to be stable. There were in the past some quorum issues, and the audit committee is reported as functional as well as local labour forum. Internal audit capacity is also being strengthened. There are improvements in internal and senior internal auditors, with further officials due to commence in August and September, and the status of the Chief Risk Officer and risk management leadership need to be confirmed by the municipality, as it's still a finding that's lacking in the municipal support plan. The organisational structure remains a critical structural issue. The technical expert has assisted, but basically the organogram at the moment is financially unaffordable, with an estimated 65% cost increase and 2,552 additional posts. The municipality's target for the review of this, with a lot of assistance provided by the Section 154 expert, was 31st of July. However, this has been delayed due to further requirements for engagements with local labour. All posts of senior management are filled, and the focus must now shift in terms of the filling and capacity constraints of the municipality to implementation of the SDBIP, the Service Delivery and Budget Implementation Plan. As at the end of the quarter March, it's 63% was achieved, below the 75% deadline benchmark, and 28% of those targets, 28 of the targets were not achieved. On skills development, the municipality conducted a skills audit for all employees in 2021. The report was adopted by Council at the meeting on the 8th of November 2022, and the recommendation from the development of an action plan for monitoring on a quarterly basis. And the municipality developed its implementation plan aligned to the findings of the skills audit, and it must be noted that skills audits will be conducted post the 2026 local government elections. The municipal staff regulations stipulate that municipalities must conduct their audit once every 5 years. The municipality also developed its workplace skills plan, annually aligned to the findings of the skills audit, and COGTA's provided capacity building support to address gaps in the following areas, which are governance, financial management, leadership, administration, disaster management, and service delivery. On service delivery, MIG expenditure was reported at 100%, which is an improvement from the 63.98% in March. The municipality needs to demonstrate, though, that expenditure translates into completed functional assets and not financially, just financial expenditure. Water and electricity services remain exposed due to aging infrastructure, illegal connections, vandalism, meter inaccuracies, water losses, and insufficient maintenance investments. These also directly undermine revenue recovery, although the municipality in its own presentation will present its response plans to these issues. The municipality does not yet have an approved roads, water and roads and stormwater management plan due to funding requirements. And this is a concern, noting the historical flood damage. Integrated waste management plan of 2015 also requires review, although there have been improvements in the landfill site. including high compliance against the waste management license and approval of the license variation application. Ward committees are functional at 100%, including the public participation processes. Again, on the Section 154 support, the Section 154 looks at the alignment of the MSIP, the Voluntary Financial Recovery Plan, the Audit Action Plan, the Municipal Turnaround Strategy, as well as participation in the Premier's Working Group. Support has included governance, labour facilitation, assistance on the organisational structure, finance recovery and debt discussions, audit and UIF monitoring, stakeholder and business engagement, including partnership with the UMEDA, which is the development agency, and the business chamber, service delivery, case tracking, and quarterly reporting. Interventions have also assisted in preventing the regression into the distressed category, and a major assistance was provided during the recent strike and labour negotiations. KwaZulu's position should therefore be that continued support remains necessary, but future reporting must be tied to a smaller number of measurable outcomes. Financial viability, organizational structure, SDPIP accountability, improved collection and liquidity, compliance with bulk service payment plans, reduction resolution on UIFW, reliable water and electricity services, and funded road, storm water and maintenance plans are the key focus areas of the Section 154 support. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Are there any other reports? None. All right. Members, would you like the municipality to present their report, or are you ready to? All right, let's hand it over to the Mzinduzi municipality to present your report.
Chair.
Honorable Ngadi.
Honorable Chair, let me raise a disclaimer. I think it's a worrying factor. The report that is being presented now, we only just received it now, Honorable Chair, and we didn't give our enough time to scrutinize this report. But anyway, I think that's something that we need to look into it to make sure that we come here prepared for the meeting. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Gadi. That's a very valid point. And we did receive a number of reports quite late as well. However, we do have enough information in front of us in order to perform our oversight role. I'm going to very quickly hand over to Your Worship and your team. Not sure who's presenting, but just give us a brief overview on the audit
Honorable
outcomes.
Chair. Honorable Chair.
Honorable
Before
Madlopa?
you go to the Honorable Mayor, we did raise our concern in the previous meetings in front of the MEC that for us to get the reports late and just rubber stamp without scrutinizing it, it's not a good thing for us. I think the department must improve on the reports that are being sent to us, because our coordinator yesterday sent us a message to say that at the moment they have not received the report from the department. It was late in the middle of the day. The report was not with us. We are not just coming here to rubber stamp, reports. We want to interrogate the reports and get an understanding. I think in future, Chair, we are not going to tolerate that. When we're in the national government, we're chasing the department away that comes same day with the reports, because they are undermining us, They knew about this meeting long time. In future, Chair, really, we are not going to take that. Thanks.
I do hear you. That's noted, Honorable Madlopa. And we've had this discussion a number of times with the MEC and the department, and we'll include it in our report as well. But I want to proceed because we want to make the best use of our time here today. Over to you, Your Worship, and your team for your reporting, and then we're going to take questions.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair, once again. To save time, we'll allow Mr. Otto Langa. He is representing the CFO, of course, through the municipal manager, who is the head of administration, but Mr. Otto will just get straight into our presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chairperson. Let me greet the Honorable Chair, Honorable members, AG, COGTA, Honorable Mayor, let me just say all protocol observed. I'll be taking the committee through the turnaround strategy that has been developed by the municipality to address all the issues that were raised by the Office of the Auditor General. Chair, in line with Section 131, we developed the audit action plan to address all the issues raised by the Auditor General in the audit report as well as the management report. This document includes the action plans, the root causes, the corrective measures, the timelines, as well as the progress to date in addressing the issues. In addition, Chair, we are also meeting twice a week to monitor the progress, and also we are reporting to the council structures, including MPEC and Audit Committee. In terms of the status to date, management have since addressed 60% of the findings that were raised by Auditor General, being 42, and 28 are still in progress of being addressed. In terms of the action plans on the matters of emphasis on the restatement of corresponding figures, the municipality does monthly reconciliations to ensure that all the accounts, GLH accounts, do reconcile, and also doing the fixed asset register reconciliations. In terms of the material impairment, the municipality have since reviewed the impairment policy to be in line with the prescripts of GRAP, and that policy have also been tabled at council and has been approved. On the material losses, Chairperson, the root cause, one of the root causes of the material losses in terms of your water and electricity is our aging infrastructure. What the municipality is doing to address that, we have also ensured that we are also auditing and replacing the meters. In terms of the stats, we have done about 22,000 audits as at the end of June, and our electricity losses were sitting at 19.54%. On the water losses, our water losses were sitting at 20.43 as at the end of June. We have also audited about 2,031 meters and replaced them, and also audited internal sites of about 821 of those sites. On the significant uncertainties in terms of the litigations, we reviewed our litigation register and we identified a number of 16 inactive cases that were worth 4 million, and a report has been submitted to council for approval in terms of writing them off and removing on our litigation register. Under delayed capital projects, the projects that were identified by AG being Ward 7, 8, and 34, those projects have since reached their practical completion. The one for Greentop Avenue has been removed, and there is going to be implemented by the Department of Transport. And the Ward 24 has progressed to 79%, and it is anticipated that it will be completed by end of September. On the issues of going concern as raised by COGTA as well as to AG, the municipality is engaged in various activities to address the issues of going concern. Those includes, but not limited to, we are having a financial recovery plan, which we are being assisted by National Treasury. We are having our Operation Kotimali, where we physically go and ensure that we implement our credit control policy. We are also having the expenditure committee that also monitors the expenditure control in terms of ensuring that the municipality spend in accordance with the cost containment strategy. In terms of the Annexure B findings on the services to indigent, we have also reviewed our indigent policy, and also implemented an automatic qualification in terms of residential properties below 200,000. We are reviewing our indigent register, and we have increased our numbers. Now, last year we were about 6,000. Now they have since increased to more than 7.5. In terms of the AG findings raised on the material irregularities, the first one was the municipal resources that are not being used economically. There's a unit that have been established, PMO unit, and is headed by a senior manager. In addition, we are meeting on every Friday to oversee the spending of our capital projects. As a result, in this year, we have improved in terms of the spending on our capital projects. In terms of the payment of SCASKIs, there has been a SOP that has been developed and has been approved by the relevant structures of the council. A forensic investigation was also done. In addition, that the issue of the SCASKIs is ongoing, as the municipality is no longer paying that SCASKIL. The loss of revenue from sale of timber, again, the investigation was done, and the matter is at a court in terms of the recovery. Further to that, the municipality has also appointed SAFCOL to assist with the management of our plantation. In terms of the failure to implement credit control, investigation was done, is being awaiting council consideration. In addition, we are doing meter audits as well as ad hoc audits. In terms of the stats provided, there were about 7,634 audits that were done, and there were also 723 faulty meters that were rectified. On the issues of payments not being made within 30 days, we have restructured our processes and ensure that we pay the number of our creditors to reduce the number of our creditors to below 30. In addition, we are also ensuring that we are monitoring and managing our cash flows, especially our cash flow is being affected by the bulk suppliers, which is IOSCOM and Ungen, by monitoring the payment arrangement that we are having with them. The one for failure to prevent UFW, we have a UFW reduction strategy. In addition, the city manager has escalated all the consequent management to ensure that all the people that should have been charged have been charged. In addition, where people were suspended for more than 6 months, those people were called and they were allocated to other departments so that they can continue performing the functions. Further to the one for the compliance issues on your waste management, we have since been granted waste management variation. In addition, on the waste management, we have improved in terms of the security measures. We have also engaged the security company to ensure that they continue to monitor our landfill site. On the issue of the wastewater infrastructure that was identified, we have entered into a payment arrangement with water in Tukela, and electricity is going to continue once Umgen has paid in terms of connecting. The Ivy Road and Hollington electrical works has been completed, and the sanitation pumps have been installed for the Sobantu and Hollingwood pump stations. On the audit finding on the poor road conditions, the municipality have since developed a road asset management plan. In addition, they have done some visual assessment in line with our AAN processes, where we are doing the impairment and conditional assessment. And further to that, the municipality has also rehabilitated all the roads serving as feeder to the CBD. In concluding, Chairperson, we are saying management, we are committed to address all the issues raised by the Auditor General. We have also implemented further strategies on improving the internal controls. We have done, for example, your interim financials. We have finalized our financial year, AFS. We have also performed our month-end disciplines where we are ensuring that all the reconciliations are done as well as compliance with the laws and regulations. I thank you.
Thank you for that presentation, Is there any other additional presentation from the municipal side? Are we all done? All right. Thank you, honorable members. This is where you have your opportunity to ask questions. But before I give you an opportunity, I just want to clarify the Premier's Mzanduzi Working Group. We have received a report from the Premier's office, which I did share with members. I just want to find out from the department if you could confirm whether the working group is still in operation, whether they've ceased, concluded, or there has been a break. If you could just provide some clarity there. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Chair. There has been some break, I must indicate, because of challenges that were experienced from the side of the municipality, who decided not to participate in the working group. And that stifled the whole process of getting reports to be considered by the working group itself. I'm aware that the Premier had resuscitated the program. The first meeting after the resuscitation took place on Monday, if not yesterday. On Monday, yes, correct. We did sit and we started the whole process. And we are hoping that the municipality will continue to participate in that program. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Mr. Katid. This is a little bit of a concern. Because when I looked at the report, the Premier's Mzanduzi Working Group report, it says here there has been resistance within the administration, delays, non-cooperation, and weak accountability. There's been institutional instability, quorum problems, strained labor relations, and an unaffordable organizational structure. There's also been inconsistent work stream continuity with the finance work stream. And this is where we have the major problem in the finances. So I'm not sure. Perhaps we can get some, before I take members' questions, can we just get some understanding from you, Your Worship, with regards to this sort of non-cooperation from the municipality side in terms of the Premier's Mzanduzi Working Group and the assistance that they were trying to provide. Over to you.
Honorable Chair, yes, like we acknowledged the support that the Office of the Premier is providing to the municipality. Of course, there were challenges. This afternoon, we are meeting. The Premier has already met with the co-chairpersons of the working group. Of course, he appointed them. He has already met with them. This afternoon, we have been invited to Cabinet just for these purposes of reintroducing the working group again into the municipality, and I don't foresee any challenges. Thanks, Chair.
Thank you, Your Worship. Mr. Katida, if you could repeat, when was the pause? What date was the pause?
I'm advised it was November last year, but I just wanted to double check that one, Chair. I think it was, yes, of the last meeting we had, it was in According to my record, Chair, I think it was around it's around March, according to my records. I'm just relying from the invites that you are getting. I might have changed my phone.
That's March this year.
March last year.
So since March last year till this week, the Premier's working group has not been in operation.
The confirmation is November, Chair. November, yeah, I think.
Since November?
Yes, November last year. Thanks.
So November 2025, and we are now in August. That's quite serious. That is quite serious, because this is assistance now being provided to the municipality. And I'll come back to you, Your Worship, but I'm going to allow members to ask their questions. Members, if you could introduce yourself when you're asking your question, I'll give you a chance to ask more than one, because you may not be totally clear and want to have a second bite, and then we'll move on to the next member. So let me take hands. Okay, I see Honorable Fraser, Honorable Brauteset. Let me just write that down. Fraser, Brauteset. Which are the members? Honorable Basiela, Honorable Kunene, Honorable Ngadi, Honorable Madlopa. Right, over to you, Honorable Fraser.
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson, honorable members. Umsunduzi, led by the Mayor and the MM and COGTA, I greet you all. Firstly, Chair, let me start by appreciating the fact that the Mayor, when he made the remarks, he made mention of the Premier's intervention team, meaning that at least they are going to be doing work together moving forward. Though, Chair, I strongly feel that the person who was better placed to respond was the MM on this issue. But we do appreciate the fact that they are now working together. Municipalities are very complicated in their nature, but we do appreciate the fact that they are now working together. That would be my first comment. The second one, Chair, allow me to commend the municipality, knowing Umsundus from where they were and the reports that you are getting from Umsundus and also from COGTA. It means COGTA indeed is doing the work. And Umsundus is also on progress. We do commend that, and we appreciate the fact that they've received the unqualified audit report. So things are happening. We want to see things moving. But again, the second one will be on the government debts. I believe education is one of the struggling departments, but I have noticed that they have made arrangements. And with other departments, I did not see arrangements. Maybe if they can share with us what is happening, COGTA can come in on that one. My question, Chair, will be directed to COGTA. Not to Umsundus. To Umsundus, it was only comments. My question will go straight to COGTA. We have noticed that a number of departments have not made any arrangement. And I believe those departments, some of them are here in the province, and the Treasury is there. So I believe that if they can take it and discuss it on the cabinet level, something can come up. But again, cautioning
Umsunduze to say that their systems must be tight, because if there are areas where there are undisputed debts, it means even on their side there is work that needs to be done. So I'm appealing to Umsunduzi to go back and tighten their systems. Then the second one, Chair, on the issue of consequence management, if COGTA can share with us, because they are supporting the municipalities, on how many cases rather that they have come across where we can say indeed consequence management is happening. We don't only get complaints, but we see no action. On the issue, Chair, of COGTA being constrained, I believe if they can focus more on their core function rather than building houses and stuff, these comments can be less. I mean, from where I'm seated, I don't understand. The COGTA is saying they are constrained, yet there are things that are happening in COGTA which they are not the mandate of COGTA. So if they can put more focus on their mandate, I think the story will be different. Thank you, Chair.
Honorable Browder.
Thank you, Chairperson. If you don't mind, I have quite a little bit of work to cover, if that's all right. So the first question, sorry, I'm just not sure this morning who's who. I may have missed it. Is the speaker here? Speaker. Okay. The MM? Okay. All right. The CFO? Chief Audit Officer? Okay. All right. Well, let me just get into it like this. Chairperson, I'm sure that the colleagues opposite are familiar with Section 173 of the Municipal Finance Management Act. MM, I'm sure, should be aware of it. That's the section of the MFMA that specifies what contraventions can lead to criminal action against officials. And in my research, primarily based on the AGSA report that we received, I've picked up a number of contraventions. A number of contraventions which if I were to just mention a few, but the specific ones that are listed under Section 173, but for instance, there are numerous contraventions of Section 32, Section 122 in terms of material misstatements in financial statements for 3 consecutive years, that's Section 122, 84% of irregular expenditure not being dealt with, Section 32, there is the municipality allowing to run recurring deficits, contravening Section 18(1). Then specifically, 7% of mainline water bursts repaired against a 60% target, which is a contravention of 63(2)A of the, which is specifically listed as a criminal offence under Section 173. If I then go down to the duties of the Chief Financial Officer, creditors remain unpaid for an average of 191 days, which breaches MFMA Section 65(2)E, which is also specifically listed under Section 173. Supply chain manager, community hall and sports complex project not implemented due to bid specification delays, which contravenes Section 62(1)C of the MFMA, which is also specifically listed under Section 173. So the question that arises out of this, that I'll put to the municipal manager to start off with, is can the municipal manager provide, because at the end of the day, municipal manager, you are the accounting officer. There are political appointments here, political appointees, persons elected. You are the accounting officer of the municipality. Why should I not leave this hearing today and go to the closest police station in Jabu Ndlovu and lay charges against you in terms of these contraventions? Can you give me an answer on that? Then I'd like to, I'll start there, Chairperson. I'll allow the municipal manager to consider that. And the investigation unit has been moved to your office. Okay? And there are 69, I repeat, 69 forensic report recommendations which have not been implemented. The municipal manager has to give us some insight as to why that's not happening. What is the point of doing forensic investigations if they're not implemented? This is squarely your responsibility. And there are a number of investigations which are of concern. For instance, deceased debtor accounts not being written off irregularly. Then moving on to the chairperson of IMPAC, Councillor Magubane. I'm now moving away from the municipal manager. I'm just going to run through these folks, Chair, and then person, and I'm done. The IMPAC has deferred 3 critical reports without defined timeframes. So if Councillor Magubane is here, which I certainly hope that the head of IMPAC would be at such an engagement, and give us an idea of what's going on there. The Chief Audit Executive, I will skip over because I've handled that there. I wanted to talk about the 69 unimplemented forensic matters. The Chief Financial Officer, is the CFO here? Sorry? Okay, the acting CFO. So we've got irregular, unauthorized, fruitless and wasteful expenditure of 350 million relating to security contracts. It's not been processed. It's not been written off. Can we get an answer on that, please?
Honourable Bratislav.
I'm almost done, Chairperson. I really am almost done. I'll end here, Chairperson. Legal Services Unit, Ms. Nslophe. I don't know if Ms. Nslophe is here. But there are disciplinary matters and litigation matters in the municipality that date back 10 years that have not been finalised. Chairperson, 10 years. Disciplinary matters have not been finalised. Who is accountable for these delays? And can we get a report on those delays and what on earth is going on here? Chairperson, I'll just wind up by saying there's a massive accountability problem. And when you go through the research that I've done, you pick up these accountability issues. There's a lot more, Chairperson. I could carry on for 2 hours. Literally, I could. There is a lot more. And I think
Honourable Fraser, I've noted your hand. Please just let the Honourable Member finish. I'll come to you.
Yeah, I can see what's happening, Chairperson.
Are you done, Honourable Bratislav?
I'm done because I can see that this meeting's run from behind me, not over there. Thank you.
No, Honourable Bratislav, every member is going to be given an opportunity to speak. So the reason why I interjected is I don't want you to go too far ahead so that we don't have an adequate time to have a response. Everybody will get a second bite. You'll be able to ask a second round of questions. So you've directed some questions to the municipal manager, to the speaker, impact chair, and disciplinary committee chair. Am I correct? And the CFO.
Chair.
Honourable Bratislav, I'll come to you. So when we are done, after we've received a response, if there's some information that is still outstanding, we will put it down to a resolution at the end of the meeting, so that information can be provided to us at a later stage. Honourable Fraser.
Unfortunately, Chair, Honourable Tim is done, but my hand was about the 5 minutes that we have, the line of questioning. Unfortunately, the legal person went out. I'm appealing for consistency. You gave us the presentation before we start the meeting. Can the chair direct us to stick on that? Thank you.
Honourable Fraser, I don't recall saying 5 minutes. Is there, legal advisor, is there some sort of rule that we have to...
Chair, I'm not talking about the time. I'm talking about the presentation that we have this morning. That 5 minutes presentation we had from our legal person.
All right. Thank you, Honourable Fraser. Please allow me. I will interject where I need to interject. I'm giving all honourable members an opportunity, as I did give you as well. So we're not going to be restrained. If there are questions that you want to ask, you will be able to ask those questions. And I want to appeal to you to give each member that respect so that they can have the freedom to ask their questions. If any questions are out of line, I will interject. Right. Let's move on to Honourable Basiela.
Thank you, Chair, and greetings to the Honourable Mayor and his team, and greetings to the provincial...
My apologies, Honourable Basiela. My apologies, sincere apologies. I lost my train of thought. We didn't get a response. Let's get that response and then we'll move on to you. Over to the, I think it was first questions were to the Speaker.
Thank you, Chairperson. I was the first one to raise questions, and he was the second one. Now you are giving them an opportunity to respond. Consistency, Wesihlalo.
My apologies again, Honorable Fraser. Most of your remarks were remarks to the municipality and to the department. Was there a question that was unanswered? Please refresh my memory. Which question was unanswered?
I'm sure the department, if you can give them an opportunity, they are going to respond.
All right. Okay, perfect. We will get that response. Let's deal with that. Let's be procedurally fair. Let's get that response, and then we will move on to the second. I apologize for that.
Thank you very much, Chair. I'll take the questions. Let me just highlight and apologize for the submissions of the presentation. However, Chair, I just want to indicate that the presentation is actually an extract from the report that was submitted to the legislature in terms of Section 131 of the MFMA. So it's that 133-page report plus annexures that we've then extracted and put together per municipality to make it easier for the committee to synthesize the information. But we do apologize, and we will get the other presentations earlier for you to go through as well. Chair, in respect of the government debt information, and I note the issue of the Department of Education, yes, indeed, that department does face certain financial challenges. We will respond fully in respect of all provincial departments. Many of the departments reflected against the Msunduzi report are also non-governmental entities, or they are national departments. We have been working closely with the province. Education, and I don't have the specific figure for Msunduzi, but I can indicate that there is undisputed debt owed by education in the amount of 360 million rand. And for that 360 million rand, they have already paid 106 million rand to date to all the relevant municipalities. There's an amount of 254 million rand outstanding to be paid by the Department of Education to all municipalities on the undisputed debt, and that would be settled by the 30th of September 2027 in accordance with the payment arrangements that have been made with respective municipalities. Similarly, Public Works will pay by March their amounts to municipalities, March 2027. Human Settlements will finalize payments as indicated by the end of August to all municipalities where the debt is undisputed. Health will finalize all payments by the 30th of December this year based on the payment arrangements that have been entered into. And then there are those departments where payments are for current accounts specifically. They are Treasury, COGTA, ETIA, Sports, Arts and Culture, the Office of the Premier and Transport. They have no outstanding arrear debt and no undisputed amounts as a province. So of the total amount of 1.29 billion rand owed to municipalities at the end of March, 862 million rand has been paid to date, and an amount of 203 million rand the amount of 400 million rand will have been paid by the end of September next year. So we are confident, Chair, that we have the government debt, at least the provincial government debt, departmental government debt in hand as a province, and all departments have cooperated. We are still engaging municipalities because there are challenges with the receipt of invoices, the timing of invoices, the billing to the correct departments, and the accuracy of some of the billing. So we are dealing with those as disputed matters. And we've indicated that we will try to take 3 to 6 months to resolve the disputed debt with municipalities. On the issue of consequence management, Chair, I think we would like to indicate that we do exercise oversight on consequence management, particularly where it involves senior management in the municipality, because there's a responsibility in terms of the Systems Act for the municipality to report such instances to COGTA and to the National Minister. However, insofar as consequence management for staff that fall within the bargaining council, we do get reports from the municipality, but I think the municipality will be best placed to discuss the I think 65 cases that are pending currently with Msunduzi, disciplinary matters. I think, Chair, the others were comments that we take as COGTA. Thank you.
Honourable Fraser.
Chair, if I may add, on the government debt, we are due to go back to Cabinet.
Honourable, continue. Sorry, my apologies.
We are due to go back to Cabinet to respond directly to this question on whether commitments have been signed between the government departments as well as municipalities. Of course, municipalities have provided us those commitments, especially on undisputed debt, but we don't want to get involved because it's the two parties' agreement, which is the municipality as well as the respective department. What we have relied from the government departments was that they have paid whatever is not disputed, and they have signed and given us their commitment letters that they've signed, not that they've signed with the municipalities, but just to say we commit that we have consulted with municipalities and we have resolved the issues of undisputed debts, but on disputed debt, we have engaged municipalities. So the Premier was saying he's not comfortable with that response up until he gets the agreements that I think Honourable Fraser is looking for. So I'm just encouraging the municipality itself to persuade the respective departments, because we're not going to do their work. It's a matter between them and the municipality. Thank you very much.
Honourable Fraser, do you have any follow-ups?
Thank you, Honourable Chair. I'm happy with the responses. It's only that when I was looking at this document, which we received very late, of course, I couldn't see where any slides which was talking to the departments making commitments. The only thing that I saw was where they have to indicate with the yes or no. And it's only two departments that had comments to say their part to this conversation. That is why I asked that question. But again, the last part of Mr. Mtagane to say that it's their work, it's his work too, to do oversight. So as long as he comes here, we are going to ask him. Thank you, Chair.
Right. Seeing as though the department has handed over those questions regarding consequence management over to the municipality, and while we are on that topic, I think we should get some response with regards to the consequence management and the, how many cases, 65 cases you say there were. Please, Your Worship, if you're unable to respond to any of the questions, please pass them over to one of your team members that is best placed to answer the question. Thanks.
No, thank you, Honourable Chair. I'm sure the members will respond. We brought relevant managers, hopefully who will be in a position to respond to all the questions. Safe to note, Chair, that of the more than 8 billion debt owed to the municipality, the government is only 3%. So I think that also needs to be appreciated. Thanks, Chair.
Thank you, Chair. If I may respond to the question that is asked by Honourable Fraser on consequence management. Good morning to the Chair and to Honourable members, also to His Worship the Mayor. Let me say all protocols observed, also to the Honourable MPLs. Chair, insofar as the municipality's processing of consequence management matters, I can indicate that it's a moving target. So I'd like to be given the permission to start where in October 2025, we were sitting at a total of 59 cases. Then, excuse me, down to 44 cases, and then they shot up in June. The tracker that I'm looking at shows that in June, the cases had escalated to 52 cases. The reason for this is that as we process cases and clear some of them from our case roll, then unfortunately the cases of misconduct in a municipality as big as ours continue to come on to the roll. But I can, through you, Chair, give members the synopsis of the number of cases that have so far been dealt with. We have been able to, we've clocked 32 dismissals. Then we have, of those cases that have been dealt with, since we started tracking them, we've got sanctions that have been issued, inclusive of final written warnings. In some cases, we've had some of the members demoted, and so it goes. But we are happy to give the detailed report on our tracking and monitoring and implementation of consequence management to the members. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that response. But before we move on to the responses for Honorable Brauteset, the problem with this consequence management is we're told that you've dealt with it and we've given a figure, or we are given a report. But the report doesn't detail what happened, what were the issues, what was the actual consequence. For instance, dismissal. Someone could be dismissed, but they were not charged. And so we find that very often as we move around to municipalities is someone is dismissed, and then not long after that they are found employment at a different municipality or in a different sphere of government, and that is highly problematic. It is highly problematic. And also demoted. Is that a good enough consequence? So those are the kind of things we need to understand as a portfolio committee. And so one of the resolutions, and we'll put together resolutions as we go along, and we look at them at the end as well. One of the resolutions is we need a detailed report of this consequence management. Those that were dismissed, who was charged, what was the offense, so that we have an understanding that there is proper consequence management in the municipality. But now I'm going to hand over to our speaker. My apologies for interrupting you earlier. And then those that need to respond to Honorable Brauteset, please do. Thanks.
Honorable Chair, my apologies, if I may. Chair, the honorable member says there are cases that are 10 years and over that have not been resolved. For us to be able to give proper information to the legislature or the portfolio committee, if maybe we can be finished with the details so that we can, of course, respond in writing with the details that the Honorable Chair is seeking, because to me, if there's anything like that, it will be important that we know who, what happened, when, so that we can be able to provide sufficient information. Thanks, Chair.
That's fine, Your Worship. We're putting that down as a resolution. So we will expect that detailed report. But there were other questions relating to councillors and quorum and so on. So if the Speaker could respond, and then if there's anything missing, Honourable Brauteset said you can come in and remind them. Thank you.
No, thank you very much, Chair. Greetings to you, to the
honorable members, to the worship, the mayor, the deputy mayor, officials from the municipality, I greet you all. So I'll be responding to the sittings of the council meetings. First one, I have to declare that there is no council or full council that hasn't sat for the reason being a quorum, not one. The issue is the meetings with the full council, they start late because of the councillors who are coming late to the meetings. And maybe they do not finish because of the councillors who walk out of the meeting or who leave the council meeting without a permission. So with those who do not come on time in the meetings, based on the Structures Act, we have to wait for 20 minutes as amended. We wait for 20 minutes because previously we had to wait 15 and then request another 15 for them to meet a quorum. We usually meet the quorum.
My apologies, I just want to interject there for the sake of time, and I do apologize, I don't mean to interrupt you. Honorable Browter said, was that question related to council meetings or impact meetings? If you could clarify, please.
As far as I'm aware, the Structures Act says that the Speaker, if you've got a problem with the council, you report it to the Speaker. The question simply is, and it's very quick and easy, is what remedial action are you taking against councillors that are habitual offenders in terms of coming late, leaving early, not attending to their duties? That's the only question. I want to have some assurance that the Speaker's office is acting against those councillors, or are they just being allowed to do what they want?
No, they are not allowed. The issue that we had is to update the rules of order, because with the rules of order, they have to be charged with those who do not come to the meetings without apology. They have to be charged 300 rands, of which it's nothing to the councillors. So we decided to update and review the rules of order, of which we are still doing that. But as we are doing that, we are trying to talk to the councillors that they must come in time and they mustn't leave the council before the time that is stipulated for council meetings. But for those who do not come, I mean, those who leave the council before the council is finished, and they walk out because they feel maybe there are issues that need to be addressed, of which they do not want to get into those items, they decide to walk out. So we said, maybe when we review the rules of order, because of the amount that they have to pay, which is only 300 rand, and with the amended Structures Act that they have to be treated as absent. So we have to review the rules of order so that they feel if they leave the council before the council is finished. So without reviewing that, they'll always move out because of the 300 that they have to pay, of which is nothing to them. So we are waiting for the rules to be finished, rules of order, and then we are going to be dealing with those councillors. Thank you, Chair.
Chair.
Honorable Ngadi, I've noted your hand. I just want to finish off with this train of thought, and then I'll give you an opportunity. Are you done, Honorable Bratasek?
On the Speaker, now then I ask questions to the Municipal Manager, the CFO, and the Head of Legal Services has responded. So it's just the CFO and the Municipal, those are the questions we're directed to.
Right, let's conclude. I think your CFO and your Municipal Manager.
Yeah. And then I'm done.
Let's get those responses, and then I'll come to you, Honorable Ngadi.
Just want to assist, Honorable Chairperson, please, a minute.
Okay.
A minute, Honorable Chair, just for the sake of proceeding of this meeting, can I request, Honorable Chair, that you allow all the honorable members to raise questions
Then once they are done, then the presenter will then respond to us, because we cannot do this back and forth. Otherwise, we're going to go like 6 o'clock in the afternoon. I think let's allow that process. Then obviously, thank you.
So we've already given 2 members the chance to do a back and forth. Members, are you in favor of that? We'll do 2 rounds so that everybody gets an opportunity. All right. Let's do that as soon as we get this response, and then we'll move on to that. Right, let's get some response to Honorable Brataset's questions.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. Greetings to yourself. Let me then rise on the already established protocol. The Honorable Bratasen asked a question as to why he cannot go to the Loeb Street subs to open a criminal case against me because of the serious transgression that he alluded to. The very same Act, Section 171 of the Municipal Finance Management Act, provides for the disciplinary board to go and investigate and make a determination whether there's a case to answer or not. To date, Honorable Chair, the matter where serious transgressions have been identified as a result of the various forensic reports has not been approved by Council. As a result, the disciplinary report has not made a determination. I will therefore say, Chair, it will be premature for the Honourable Member to go to Loeb Street. Let him wait for the processes to unfold and then get a resolution whether the accounting officer has a case to answer. Then he can go to open a case. In terms of the other issue of 69 forensic report, Honorable Chair, is the same matter. Yes, there are forensic reports that were conducted, but those reports have not been agreed to by Council. As a result, as administration, we are hamstrung in terms of operationalizing those findings. Then, Chair, the last one is in terms of the UIFW, where an amount of 350 million was found to be irregular for the appointment of a certain company called KSA. Indeed, investigations were conducted. The report is also sitting with Council. If Council has taken a decision that 350 million, which was found by HE to be irregular, was going to be ameliorated, Chairperson, because we are going to disclose that it has been investigated and consequence management has been done to those who were appointed that certain company. I must indicate, Chair, that the contract was subsequently cancelled as a result of the HESA findings. Thank you, Chair.
All right. Just a question of clarity from my side with regards to this before I forget. You say that you are hamstrung to deal with these investigations because Council has not dealt with it. What is the delay?
I'm not saying, Chair, we're hamstrung to deal with the investigations. Forensic investigations have been conducted. The report is on the agenda of Council. There's no decision. Once Council has taken a decision, what the next step is to operationalize the resolution in terms of holding those who has done a misdemeanor accountable.
Let me rephrase my question. Why has there been no decision? Has it been tabled and a decision not taken? Has it been deferred to another date? Help us understand as a committee, what is the holdup? Because for us, consequence management is the biggest thing. If there is effective consequence management, then there will not be a repeat.
Chair, the holdup is what the Honourable Councillor Bratasen has asked, that Council sometimes degenerates. Then there will be issue of quorum. Reports are going to be considered. Members of Council will then raise a certain militation in a form of, we don't trust this report because it's coming from a certain person who does not have the requisite qualification. Therefore, they are not going to be part and parcel of the discussions. Then they will stage a walkout, then there will be no quorum. Then the agenda will not be considered. Not once, on numerous occasions. Thank you.
All right. So this is a serious matter, honorable members, that politics is at play, standing in the way of consequence management, and that's not acceptable. So I'm not sure whether, Your Worship, you want to comment on that, because this is important. We need to spend some time on this. We cannot allow councillors to be a law unto themselves and stand in the way of consequence management. We can't allow that. If you could just touch on it, Your Worship, help us understand.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Indeed, in the main, it is forensic investigations, not consequence management in general, because remember, issues of consequence management are in the main dealt with through the administration. They really don't need to be reported to council at all times except to update us just for oversight. But issues of forensic investigations, that is where we have a challenge. Now, the Madam Speaker, in her response, she said, whilst we always have council meetings, actually we are meeting on a monthly basis as opposed to the legislation that says it has to at least 4 times a year. But most of the time, council meetings will collapse whenever it is time to discuss these reports. Now, the issue here is we don't have control over political parties' interests. Because if a political party decides to walk out of a meeting and them leaving that meeting means there will be no quorum. Remember in Sundus, which maybe I didn't mention when I started in my opening remarks, Honorable Chair, because I took it for granted what it is a known fact. There is no simple majority party. Sundus is a young municipality. So there's no party that can form a quorum on its own. If a party or parties decide to walk out of a statutory meeting of council, unfortunately, we don't have a control over that. And that has been happening probably since November or December. Meetings do sit, but there are reports whenever we are about to discuss them where there's a disagreement amongst parties represented in council, and meetings of council will then collapse based on that. Now, like I said, Honorable Chair, it's political parties' interests, probably it's issues that are going to be discussed sometimes that you'll find that they also touch into politics. Also, probably the portfolio committee needs to note the period we are in, which is not an excuse. We are a government at local level until the end of the term, but I think the level of politics campaigning for political parties is also working towards that, because, you know, it is up to some to ensure that they prove others to be unable to govern. Others are also trying to prove that they can govern better. I hope the portfolio committee understands that.
No, thank you. Thank you for that. Putting us in the picture of what is really going on there. Thank you, Your Worship. I'm going to move on to Honorable Basiela, and we'll park that issue for now. We will come back to it. Honorable Basiela.
Thank you, Chair. I have already greeted the members present. Not wanting to sort of overplay consequence management, my question to both COGTA and municipality relates to consequence management again. And that is the perception of the public is that the boards, disciplinary boards, commission of inquiries are just a non-stop process and talk shop where where shielding of officials take place. And the perception is that there certainly must be cases which can be referred for criminal prosecution, and that doesn't happen. So is there a way that we can be furnished with all the information, whether they have amounted to all complaints, all cases, so that we can have a look at it ourselves and sift it out to establish whether disciplinary boards are a shield or whether they are used to effect consequence management. Then the next question also relates to this. Over the past 10 years, or even if you have to take past 2 years, has there ever been 1 cent that has been recovered from irregular, unauthorized spending? The wasted, let's take one example. Has any money been recovered from officials who wasted money on the Copesville Reservoir standing time? There are many others. So then the next one relates to collection of, we have received the report from Dr. Krishnan and the written report of how much of outstanding municipal debt has been collected, and she's given a report on government. What about corporate? So when it comes to corporate, it's been in the public domain. What has been in the public domain through social media is accusations of businessmen who have walked into council accusing municipal officials of receiving monies under the table to keep the grid on and not to disconnect them for more accounts that are due. So once it is in the public domain, it is important that the public domain have a look at those accounts and see whether they have been in arrears, whether a disconnection ought to have happened but didn't happen, and so that the fears of gross corruption in the municipality be allayed. So I think the question would be that we have more oversight over the corporate accounts. Then regarding the household and the residents, the accounts of the residents, it also is in the public domain, and the outcry of residents is loud and clear. They have complained about the billing system and about the metering system. And let me say this on behalf of our constituents and households' consumption don't go up and down like a graph. A household will have 10 members or 5 members or 4 members, and people do what they do more or less repetitively every day and consume the same amounts. When billing spikes and you see a bill for some residents get a 90,000 bill, 200,000, 12,000, and then other months are stable. Shouldn't that be a sign of a major problem within the billing system? Meters that need to be checked, they need to be configured. There are ways in which, and there is a law of measurements which exist. Now, this law of measurements have been questioned and questioned by the residents, and residents do not receive any answers to it. The amount of punishment that is effected over residents is unbelievable. Residents receive from municipality a punishment. And what is strange is that these municipalities are run by political parties, and yet there is no fear or no care about, how a resident ought to be treated. Children of residents are scared of the municipality. People are scared of municipalities. They lock the gates, etc., because of the unfair way in which they are treated. So the next question is, when will be a proper overhaul of the billing systems regarding both the electricity and the water accounts? Then will there be a review of the MCB charges that residents face? So it is a call by residents, and it is a major objection. We'd like to have an answer to that. Give me a second. Then you have the Premier's Working Group report. Now, we've just heard that nothing has happened since November, but the report still exists. So can we have both COGTA and municipalities speak to those issues that are raised in that report? The report talks of deteriorating governance, failing infrastructure, crime, ongoing load shedding, and many other issues. The decline of investor confidence, increased service delivery protests, uncontrolled waste and health hazards. Now this, we don't even have to look at a report. Even though we have seen nice reports, on paper, everything looks great, but you go through the city and it has deteriorated to the nth degree. There is filth and pavements that are not repaired. There are manholes that people can fall in and actually do fall in. There's the wastewater, which hasn't been, wastewater systems which have had no maintenance to it, resulting in, I don't know, that the tire companies get a lot of business from municipalities, potholes. So there are all these things resulting out of failing infrastructure. And we don't see any physical, it doesn't manifest. On paper, yes, on paper it is reported that maintenance is in a reasonable state and it's okay, but residents see the unregulated, illegal dumping, etc. Then you have the water loss. Residents call, I have tape recordings of residents calling, reporting burst pipes all over the city. It can be up to 2 weeks sometimes that there is a follow-up and a referral to this. That water can be gushing out at various points in the city and no care in the world to those things. There are also reports, and I think the Msunduzi knows it, of the failing sanitation in various areas, spilling sewer in Lincoln Mead, lots of other, Copesville, lots of other difficulties there. And we'd like to have a report on that. Then we have purchase of vehicles.
Honorable Basiela, I just want you to make your questions a little bit more specific so department and municipality can respond, rather than making them too broad. I do understand that you are representing the community and you are raising many issues community related, but let's just try and keep it more to the reports so that we have a better response from the municipality and the department.
Can we be supplied with a report on vehicle purchase, especially unbudgeted vehicle purchase? Then there's 106 million of unspent grant funding that was returned to National Treasury. Why was it returned? And why could that not have been utilized to have youth-led businesses and small contractors employed?
Have you concluded, Honorable Basiela?
Yes, there are some other items I can take it on the follow-up.
Okay, if we have a chance to, then you can come in the second bite. You've touched a lot on service delivery with the water and the electricity. So keeping on the same train of thought, I know that there has been tariff increases for water and electricity and so on. And one of the concerns is your liquidity and your debt collection rate that has not been very good. So I just want to try and understand, when you are answering Honorable Basiela's questions, If you could just also touch on your revenue enhancement strategy and what you are doing in terms of collections, and whether you're doing enough. We want to understand whether you're doing enough in terms of collections. And also what you are doing in terms of illegal connections for electricity. Because we don't want residents to bear the brunt of inefficiency. If as a municipality you are not being efficient enough in terms of dealing with your illegal connections, you're not collecting enough timeously and adequately, then ultimately what's happening is the residents are paying the price for it. Also, when you are reporting in terms of your electricity, we find that there's a lot of feedback, but not tangible feedback, so that we can measure your progress accurately in terms of even the number of audits you are doing, electricity audits, meters, and so on. We've got nothing to compare it with. Like you would say, you are doing 2,000 audits. 2,000 of how many? That's the kind of information we require so we can carefully assess your progress and whether it is adequate or not. I'm going to hand over to you, Your Worship, to your team to answer those questions that were raised by Honorable Basiela and myself.
Okay, no. Thank you, Chairperson.
My apologies. We took a decision that we will allow members.
Okay.
We're getting too into the meat of these reports. Let's hand it over to, thank you for reminding me, Nondumiso. Honorable Kunene. Just make a note of those questions that we've raised. We'll come back to them.
Thanks, Honorable Chairperson, His Worship the Mayor and the team, Municipal Manager and the team, the DDG, KTD and the COGTA team, honorable members. I think a lot of ground has been covered. One just wants to comment or make a few comments. The AG, when they were briefing us, they were saying that meeting service delivery targets by the municipality is not good. Targets that they have set for themselves. Taking into account that municipality is about service delivery, can we be informed what are the remedial measures, or why is this the case, to ensure that the issue of service delivery is improved, because the municipality is going to be judged upon its ability to render services to the municipality or to the residents. On the responses or action by the responses by the Msunduzi to the AG's report, there was a reference to a capital project of Grimthorpe Avenue River Bridge, which we are told has now been removed to be implemented by the DOT. Just one wants to know, why has it been removed to be implemented by the DOT? And has there been a follow-up to ensure that, because I think the fact that it was identified, it's because there was a need for it. The Grimthorpe Avenue River Bridge. What one wishes to know is that moving it to the DOT, does it mean that it's going to be implemented by the DOT, or has it been abandoned because it has been identified as a capital project? And another one is on the forensic investigations that there was a discussion on, which take a long time. Are we able to know how many forensic investigations have been conducted up to the end of the term that is ending in November, and how much has been paid to conduct those investigations? Because one just is worried when so much money would have been paid and there's no way to get them implemented. Or also to hear from the AG whether is it within their mandate also to audit these, that they, when they go to a municipality, because there is this problem that you hear that political parties are working out when these are to be considered, whether they is it within AG's mandate to audit whether these reports have been implemented, and what is the cause of them not being addressed. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Kunene. See who's our next speaker. I think it's Honorable Madlopa. Honorable Ngadi.
No, thanks, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, but I'm not going to be too much. One, greetings, Honorable Mayor Siyabingelela, leadership yonke. We acknowledge you, honorable members, and Net Department KwaZulu-Natal, as well as the HESA. Thank you very much for coming. One is with regards to Intoyama audit findings. There are 28 audit findings which is in progress. We do perhaps have timelines as to when are you going to be dealing with that. But I'm quite a bit skeptic. One, the Municipal Public Accounts Committee must be in the center on the implementation of these audit findings, because MPAC is a committee that reports to council. Now again, langi nenkinga khona eyokuthi MPAC hardly sit as a result of into yequorum. Now, because MPAC need to monitor in the institution the implementation of these other audit findings, then we have got a serious problem on that one. Coupled with the ill discipline of councillors, Honorable Speaker. When you said the councillors, they arrive late and they go as and when they want. Therefore, we have got a problem of the executive in the municipality. The only thing, Mayor, is Ajela, 4 November, nothing else. That's the only thing that is going to solve the problem, is the local government election to start afresh. Because once you have got the council that is ill-disciplined, like what is happening, then you have got no municipality. That's the bottom line. We can wait days and days trying to resolve this issue, because at the end of the day, the council is the body that takes the decision, that makes the officials accountable. Now, sizingaloke sidonsisana siya le nale nganza kwethu okwethu isekubekezela nje silinde umhla ka4 kubonakala ukuthi ke into yelentuzana yekhansela ilungiseka kanjani, because uMM naye can administration bangakwenza konke, kodwa uma kunokudonsisana kwekhansela ayikho nayo into angayenza, to be precise, Honorable Chairperson. And the other one was okay, you have said it well on the issue of the consequence management. I'm not going to bore you on that one. Mkimande has already read the issue of the Krimthorpe Avenue Bridge, because I was going to also find an indication in terms of whether you have been in contact with the Department of Transport in terms of the implementation part of it. Because one of the other predicaments that I think umuntu kuzomele athi zoom on, because as public representatives we account to the society, to the communication, to the community, and I'm worried, Honorable Speaker, whether the issue of public participation to alert the community with regards to those projects which has been delayed. Ukuthi mhlambane ke, if you can take us through on that one in public participation, no. Abantu bayazi go 1, 2, 3. I think lokho kuzosinika ilentuzana i-comfort. The project, the procurement and contract management, it's another issue that I think because we highlight here. I'll cite one example. We have got only one target to deal with the indoor swimming pool maintenance. Only one target. Then you mention ukuthi awukwazanga ukuthi provide ama services of repair the wadding pool because the service provider has overcharged imali engango 6.3 million. Is that a good response? Because you have got only one, it means that you have got a service provider targetile already getting a lower. What was the bid committees? If the bid committees are recommending, surely there is number 1 and number 2. You know, now awukwazi-ke ukuthi uzothi-ke u-service provider has charged 6.3 million. It's something just mhlambane-ke enifanele nesinike nje i-comfort on that one, Honorable Chairperson. I think nginayo nje i-issue, I think Chairperson have said it all, as well as no Honorable Ishana with regards to the Premier's Group team. Mina to me kubuka sengathi aniyifuni. Navele nje nangayifuna nje deployment evela kwe province, you don't need it. As far as I think so, because that team is there, it was assigned there to assist the municipality, of which I think we have got ama issues maningi nama issues alapha eleduzane Msunduzi. We know them. Some of the other issues they are not even recorded in these reports, you know. And uma singakhuluma ngawo singashonela. Yabo. But again, that's where we go. But angidedele nina bahlonishwa sekuyokulungisa umhla ka4 but with nothing else, otherwise nje ayikho kona nizamile ukuthola unqualified with matters from then improvile nizamile, but other than that nje ayi isibambe emntwini nombani usebambe ikhona lakhe manje yokuthi we only have got 3 months. Once adlula lapha abangale bosibonela ukuthi bo operate kanjani unenkinga okufanele kufane nawo uzibambe esiqine ekhoneni lakho ngoba ayisekonale konakele manje zidla amahlanga. Thank you, but nje that's all I can submit for now, but no kuyezwakala. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Ngadi. Let's move on to Honorable Madlopa.
No, thank you very much, Honorable Chair. Greetings to the Honorable Mayor, Deputy Mayor, Speaker, and all the entourage from Umsunduzi Municipality. Greetings to the Department of COGTA. We really appreciate Katide that Nikona niyasnikezela clarity eyintweni eziningi. I want also to greet our partners as a portfolio committee, which is AG of South Africa. Greetings to you. Chair, as I greet my colleagues on this side, honorable members, Chair, we want to appreciate when the Honorable Mayor was opening, because it's not all of us that knows that, they indicated that when they took over, they were amongst the 10 municipalities that were performing badly. So from that ashes, they tried to put things together. And he also acknowledged that they still have challenges, that they are willing to continue with what they have started, so that this municipality becomes the best municipality. Although it's a slight improvement that has been confirmed by the department too, to say that there is an improvement, and Auditor General did also talk to that, there is an improvement. That's what we want to appreciate, to say that we are going towards the right direction. However, Chair, what I like about the Honorable Mayor and the municipality to accept the challenges that they are having, because if you don't accept the challenges you are facing, it's difficult to change those challenges to the progress. Chair, I want also to look to the municipality. The Auditor General have shown that the consequence management, procurement and contract management has regressed. So if those two areas have regressed, we are suggesting, Honorable Chair, to the COGTA in regard to consequence management, because all of us, we identified those key areas also that are regressing, because they need to add, not allow anything to regress. There are a lot of improvement that we have identified, but they must make sure that they don't regress. We have already, through Honorable Fraser, raised the issue of consequence management and request the department to give us a report, detailed report in regard to the consequence management, because we have got a report, but it's not detailed to say the challenges, they are increasing, the consequences they try to deal with and increase. But the detail will tell us what really happened and where are we with those consequence management, you know, the outcome of it during when we are dealing with it. But we direct it to the COGTA, because we know that the department, they report to COGTA too in regard to their challenges that they are facing. Chair, also on the contract management, what one appreciates is the response in regard to turnaround strategy in all what has been identified. But we want to say that because we have identified that in the previous recommendations, only one that was really implemented. But now what also make us to be at ease, if it is going to happen, is these meetings that are happening, I think it's two weekly, that they say they are now meeting to look at these recommendations from Auditor General, because that is what we want, for them to deal with that, to look at it. And also, Auditor General also has come up with the recommendation to say what is it that the mayor must do, what is it that a certain committee must do, which will make it easy for them when they meet weekly and get a report to those teams that will be dealing with those things, so that they can implement. There was a commitment to say we want to implement all these measures that we have put in place, because I think we are going to hold you accountable on that through the department, because all the questions that we do, we go there. Honorable Fraser, have raised something in regard to the department, you know, because there is a confirmation for all the presentation that the department, they are having financial constraints. If I may check to the department, what is it? What is the plan to really try and assist this municipality? Because we can see now they are improving in some of the quarters, But unfortunately, because of the financial constraints, they can't reach others. When the doc was presenting from the department, they indicated that even on the issue of maintenance, which is supposed to be 8%, budget that must put aside for maintenance, they can't reach there. But when they come to us, we'll throw stones. We haven't done 1, 2, 3. But openly, it is known that the issue of the budget is a challenge. Maybe when we deal with the department, they must prepare to tell us what is it that they're going to assist the department, the municipality in regard to that, or also to write to the national COGTA to try and assist this municipality. Because if they are trying to move out of the most challenges, but they stop because of the financial constraints. I don't want to get to Honorable Fraser, who's requesting the department to say, can the department focus to its mandate? Not to build houses, because there is human settlement that deals with. Maybe if those that budget was going to assist the municipalities to deal with. I'm not going to go to
I think we've covered that issue. We need to move along. We've covered that issue with the department. I want us to spend time focusing with the municipality. Please.
Oh, is it a point of order, Chair?
Yes. Because that
On
issue,
what, is it not relevant to this presentation that is put?
The issue instructing or informing the Department of COGTA that they need to spend budget not on housing, but on support, we've covered it already. Honorable Fraser has covered the issue. She's mentioned it.
No, it's a support to that, because you never summarized it when you were summarizing.
I hear
so
you.
we want to tell you that what Fraser has raised is what is supposed to happen, because when the other things, when it was raised by Honorable Tim, you were summarizing it, but that one you never summarized it. That's why I'm making a follow-up to say that we are supporting that the department must focus on its mandate. That's what we want to say. But if we say we need to stop, Chair, we'll stop, because we are a chair. We'll respect
All right.
it.
Thank you so much, Honorable Madlopa. I think the department has got that message. No more housing. Let's focus on municipalities. I'm going to, Honorable Brataset? Is it a new question?
No, it's just a follow-up, Chair.
All right, I'm going to allow that one follow-up, and then we're going to get our responses, because we want to take a second round. There's a lot of issues that we have not covered as yet. Please, just a quick question.
Chair, it will be very quick, and I won't ask any questions after this, so I'll save you time there. Chair, I referred in my earlier questions to the 69 forensic investigations that remain unimplemented due to Council not approving these reports, it appears. Chair, it's unfortunate that the Chief Audit Executive, Mr. Mahlaba, is not here today. And I would have thought that this would certainly be a meeting that the Chief Audit Executive should attend. And I'm also advised that there are media reports out there that Mr. Mahlaba has previously been suspended. So the question I want to ask about these forensic reports that we are dealing with, this is a very important question, Chair, are these forensic reports being used are these forensic reports being used?
Chair, I'm checking, are we on the second round?
No, not as yet.
Oh.
I will address
Just a quick
that.
follow-up, Chair.
Please proceed.
All right. The question simply is, are these 69 forensic audit reports being used to settle political scores within the municipality? Can I just get a yes or a no answer from either the MM or the CFO? The CFO is here, but Mr. Mahlaba is not here. I think it's very, very important, Chair, because there is questions that have been raised about the credibility of these forensic reports.
All right.
That's it, Chair. Thank you.
So, Honorable Brata said you used your follow-up question. If we have time at the end, you may be given a second bite, but only after other members have been given preference for a second bite. Can we get some responses? Very short responses to the point, so that we can cover a few more questions as well. Please.
Thank you, Chair. I will try to be very brief. Let me start by introducing myself. Greetings to you, Honorable Chair. Greetings to all members of the Portfolio Committee. Greetings to officials from COGTA, and greetings to officials from Auditor General South Africa, His Worship the Mayor, Madam Speaker, fellow councillors, and officials from Umsunduzi. My name is Mxoli Simkize. I will then be able to, the chairperson of infrastructure, which covers the entire infrastructure of the municipality, including electricity supply services, water and sanitation, road network. Hence, I believe that I'm the right person to respond to the question that has been asked by Honorable Basiel. I'll start by the issue of patching of potholes. Our road network has a bit been old. It has reached its maximum lifespan. How then to determine if a road has reached its maximum lifespan? When you drive on the road, either at the morning or you do a morning jog, whenever there's sunny, there's something called utalaku, something that is a bit oily that you see. Once you start not to see it, it simply tells you that that road is no longer oily, is no longer having a seal. It will start to develop something you'll call crocodile cracks. Eventually, those crocodile cracks will hold water. When the sun comes, evaporation happens, then a pothole will develop. Therefore, as a municipality, we've seen that taking into consideration that the majority of our road has reached that maximum lifespan, we have to do something we called milling, where we do the road surfacing. When you drive Honorable Basiela with the road called Mbubu Road, going up Sweet Waters, you'll see that road has been recently been resurfaced. The entire road, no patching of pothole was done, because patching of pothole was going to be ended up becoming a wasteful expenditure, because another pothole was going to mushroom on the other road. When you drive on Roberts Road, going up towards Wakeham, you see that whole road has been resurfaced. Kilometers, not only square meters, when we do the road resurfacing. We've done that simply because we need to prolong the lifespan of our road network. So therefore, we are no longer then going to be able to consistently keep on patching those potholes. So that on its own, it shows the municipality that is at work, that is determined